So this is my first video on YouTube, Pro Hunter Writes. Um, I thought that I'd put this up for anybody out there that was wondering about what to carry when you're going out in the woods. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different things that you could carry, but these are a few of the essentials. Um, I live here in the Northwest, so I'll just show you a few of the things that I put into my fanny pack to take around with me whenever I go out. Now, there's a few things missing from here that you guys might see or catch, but I always try to leave this stuff in my fanny pack because this is ultimately some of the most essential things that I feel that I would need to be able to get by in the outdoors. We'll start with the fanny pack itself. This fanny pack has multiple compartments, two compartments to it. It also holds two water bottles, and it easily fastens around your waist, and it actually holds quite a bit of stuff. Be surprised, you can see that it has the water bottle carriers, has a front pocket, and it also has a main pocket with some smaller inner pockets on the inside. Now, moving on from that, one of the main things that you need in survival, and it's a good morale booster, is a way to start fire. Well, I usually try to carry two or three different ways to start fire. One of them being the flint striker. You can see that it has the magnesium bar and it has a flint striker on it. I highly recommend one of these to anybody who goes out hunting, fishing, gathering, or anybody that just goes out and outdoors for the scenery. You can see that I have that. I also have this whistle, which I'll get into later, but it has a removable cap, and you can actually store matches into the cap. Over here, you can see that I have matches. I have a matchbox. This has waterproof. I have standard Strike Anywhere matches that I keep in a plastic Ziploc bag. And I have a can of Sterno as a fuel source alternately. In my backpack, I actually carry some twine that can be frayed up, and you can actually use a striker bar or matches to light it. It would be good dry tinder, especially if you're in a wet or humid climate. Now, moving on from that, the next thing that you're going to want to try to do is secure a shelter source. Well, in my fanny pack, I keep an emergency blanket. These things are relatively cheap, and they'll keep you dry, and they'll help insulate your body so that if you do get cold, you're not going to feel so much of the effect of the weather, and you'll also have some protection from the elements. Next things that I like to carry are various first aid type things, because a lot of people that get stuck out in the woods tend to need a lot of first aid items, and usually they are injured and they need a way to treat themselves immediately. Might be a larger injury, but these are a few of the things that I carry. One thing is I always keep a pack of hand warmers. These are another relatively cheap item that's just nice to have just in case anything happens. I keep this. This is just a basic first aid kit for cuts and scrapes. That way you can help prevent any infection, especially in humid climates where you might have a tendency to find more bacteria or organisms growing. This is really good to have. It's just basic, but it will help when you need it. I throw a few just standard Johnson & Johnson Band-Aids in with it too, just to have some extras. This is insect protection. If you read it, it'll protect your skin from insect bites and treat bee and wasp stings, which everybody knows that pretty much in the lower 48, Hawaii, anywhere in North America, you're going to run into bees. This is a cold compress. This is another essential item I like to carry because if you do sprain your ankle or you twist your knee or anything, you have this immediately available to help reduce the swelling. I have a poison ivy kit, and I also have a backup first aid kit, which is a 29-piece. It's just got gauze and alcohol pads and some other stuff, antiseptic wipes, Band-Aids, stuff like that. Moving on from that, we'll go into our signaling. And I carry two whistles. This is just a standard steel whistle on a lanyard. I throw that in there. And I also have this whistle, which also has a compass, which I don't like to put too much faith in because it's so out of whack. Obviously, you see north is pointing south. So I'll move on from there. Here's an interesting little item I actually picked up at a hunter education convention. It was a raffle item for youth hunter education. It's just a survival in a can kit, and if we peel the lid off, we can kind of look at some of the elements. I left this piece of paper in there. It's just got a list of things here. Just lists what you can do with the can. You got the heat tabs, which I put up there with the can of Sterno. There's a few other things in here, tea and broth, things like that. Now, it looks to me, if I can read it, that I have some water purification tablets. I have a lemon lime, actually, yeah, one lemon lime energy drink. It's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and minerals. Just dump it in water and drink it. Make sure your water is boiled or purified, of course. I have some chicken broth, beef bouillon, a couple packages of tea. You can see them. Sugar, which is a very important thing when you're out trying to survive. Keep your carbohydrates up, keep your energy. Got a little plastic bag just for storing this and that in. This interesting little piece of foil. Probably use it for signaling. Obviously you can see that it'll put off a little bit of flash to it. It's flickering the camera. And then you have the can itself, which can be used for multiple things, from boiling water to eating out of, for gathering foraged berries or whatever else that you might need. And the nice thing about this kit is everything just fits right in there. So even if I lost all of these other wonderful items, I would still have this kit on me in my pocket, and I like to keep it there. And it seals up with a lid. It's pretty much watertight, has a little crack in it, but that can be fixed before you go out. Another thing I like to carry, I always carry 5 extra rounds ammunition. These ones are for my .308, and that's my primary hunting rifle. I always throw 5 rounds in it. So that pretty much wraps up this segment on personal survival gear. And as you can see, I covered pretty much everything. There's also some candy in there, hard candy, which is also good for carbohydrates. Hope you enjoy this video. Please leave comments, and hope that you all have happy and safe outdoor outings.